Have y'all ever heard this? Because it's quite popular. My house, my rules. I pay the bills, therefore I make the rules. I'm sure a lot of us also heard this growing up as kids. At first glance, it might seem harmless or reasonable, but is there something more to it though? And I think another version of this is when a man is the sole provider and all that, he tells his wife that he used to go to work to sit back at home and take care of the kids. Then when he's talking about the money that he brings into the household, he's talking about my money, not our, but my money. Anyways, let's get into this. By the way, guys, hey y'all, I'm your host, the Empress H baby. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Today's video is about the provider man. Is he a provider or is he a controller? When providing turns into control.
Men being a provider is a tricky one. It's okay if that man has good intentions for you and actually loves you, but if that man is abusive and he comes to you as the provider and he wants you to quit your job and have babies and be financially dependent on them, this can be a tough one, because when you finally find out what they are like, you're too deep in, you're how many kids in, how many years in, how many years of marriage in, and you can't just get up and leave. So this is why it's tricky. Like, having a provider is all great, but make sure you have your own money as a woman to be able to exit, because a lot of the time women find out who these men are and they have to stay there for a year, for 2 years, 3 years, probably even longer than that, so they can study, get their life together, get a qualification, then get a job, then save at that job. And how long that is for you to just escape a person because you've relied on them. Especially if you've got 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, and there's cost of living to get up and leave an abusive person when you've always relied on them. It is tough. This is why, I've heard of men asking their woman, to quit her job, and she said no, and he's got upset because they've obviously had to pay for nursery fees and stuff like that. But when push comes to shove and this guy turns around and he's abusive, this woman can take herself out of that situation. She can put her and her kids in her car and go to her new property because she has the means to do so. If you don't, you're married, you don't have any money, you can't get benefits, let's just say, because you're married, it's a tough one. You're not going anywhere, and it can be so dangerous. Like, you're playing with your life. So they want you to be financially dependent on them. It's different if you both go to work. He might work more, you might do a part-time job, you might be able to save your money. Fine, cool. But if he wants you to make nothing, if he wants you to be so dependent on him where you have to ask him for a drink from the shop that cost £1, £2, then that's a tricky one. But they want you to be dependent on them. They need that, because when you finally see them, because they know they can't uphold that mask for too long, they know they can't do that, then it's gonna be you're gonna tolerate the BS. I was gonna say the word. You're gonna tolerate the BS, and you're gonna be stuck. And they want you to be stuck. They want you to not be able to leave them and be financially free. So whether you got a provider or not, get your money, girl.
I understand the internet hype around the provider man archetype. Because hello, inflation, economic instability in the globe. But we shouldn't glamorize it to the point that younger ladies fall into the trap and find it difficult to recover. A man with a sole provider mindset can also be an abuser or toxic. It can also be a way of gaining control and ownership of someone. Two things can be correct at the same time, because he needs to be able to dictate your ins and outs as well as the direction of your relationship. A financially stable woman is harder to control. Okay, check out my video on wealthy women and why men villainize them for more on that. An example of this type of man can be found in my other video still, Power Dynamics, Older Women, Older Men, Younger Women. I've linked it above. There, he stated that women are to be taken care of, but it came from a place of insecurity and control. Like a dog you own and take on walks. It's about ownership, not partnership. Therefore, when can we say that a man is a provider and not a controller? Watch this.
Oh my God, men are literally telling you to your face what they actually mean when they say they want to be the sole provider for a family is they want to be the sole exploiter of your unpaid labor. Because I just said, if you don't work, if you don't bring income into the home and you fully rely on your husband's income, you should still have oversight of what's happening with the money. Like, you should have the logins to the banks. You should have accounts in your name that you have money. And this is the response. But it's his money. If the security that you get from the providing for the man is transferable to any family, to any woman, or just to himself if he wants to leave you, but your security that you get from the providing is completely dependent on his presence, then he's not a provider. He is an exploiter of your free labor. Because everyone in your household is doing some type of labor that provides value. In a traditional household that you want, the woman is birthing the children, raising the children, cooking, cleaning, managing the household. But even if your wife is literally doing none of that and she's just a straight up like historically like privileged white woman who hires someone to do the cooking, the cleaning, and the household management and whatever, you still married her. You married her because you saw value in having a wife. Literally no one forced you to marry, especially these days. Literally no one is forcing you to have a wife, and especially no one is forcing you to have children. You are forcing a woman to provide value, to do unpaid labor, and then you're going out and getting paid for your labor, and your security is transferable anywhere. Her security is dependent on you. You are exploiting her. If you want your money to be your money, like, you can do that. That's fine. I understand. But then don't get married, and especially don't get married to someone that you want to stay home and do unpaid labor and not bring in an income. Like, if you are the only person bringing in an income and someone else is relying on you and children are relying on you, that's not your money. That's your family's money. Like, men will swear up and down, it's in their DNA. It is their natural role to be the sole provider. Women should not have to provide. Okay, what did that actually used to mean? Like, you left the cave, you went and like killed the bison, you brought the meat home, we all ate it, and then after we ate what you provided, we were all hungry. The kids were hungry, I was hungry, you were hungry, until you went out and provided again. And then you created a system where actually that providing gets you money that you can then buy the food. So if you leave the family, you still have the money and you still have the ability to make money from your labor. And what does your wife have? What do your children have? They have hunger.
My husband's been in a year-long affair with a younger woman, and I am in no financial position to leave, so I'm going to tell you something very important right now. If you're thinking about getting married, or you're young and you just got married, I want you to remember, never, ever, ever rely on a man 100% financially. Don't ever take the words, I'll pay the bills, you stay home, seriously. Don't ever do that. Because I'm telling you, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever done in my life. The biggest mistake.
I love this comment, because here's the question you have to ask yourself. If my husband walked out today, could I take care of me and my children? Would we be living in a one-bedroom apartment somewhere, or would our lifestyle be the same? I remember when I was in high school and my mom was getting divorced, she said to me, I want you to be able to make enough money to take care of yourself in the way that you're used to living. I don't want this to happen to you, because everything changed when she got divorced. So if you're in this position, you're a married mom and you haven't worked in a long time and it's concerning to you, I can absolutely help. Leave your questions in the comments and we can get on a consult call. I believe every woman needs to be able to earn enough money to take care of her and her kids, because it could be that your husband gets injured or changes his mind about being married. It just puts you in a more secure life for you and your kids. And if you want to get on a consult call, you know where to find my information.
I would not date a billionaire, because I've definitely dated guys before who made a lot more than I did. Like, now I don't have that experience. Like, when I first moved to New York and I was just a college student and working like normal jobs, I don't like feeling like anyone has anything over me. And I think when a guy knows that he can give you a life that you can't give yourself, I don't even think that some guys do it intentionally to be like cruel or anything, but like there's a certain level of, I can kind of do this, you can't really touch me, because I know that if we break up tomorrow, like, you're gonna have to go back to some life that you're not gonna like. And so I want whoever I'm with, the lifestyle we have together is not anything that I can't provide for myself. I always tell girls, like, have your own stuff.
Hey yo, now let's get into the comment section. And what some people had to say about all this. First comment said, no one gave me this advice, but I have a separate bank account. His money is our money and my money is my money. Plus, I keep a secret cash stash. Yup. I highlighted this person because her self-preservation instincts very high. I like that. The next person said, so true. I'm glad I had a life and friends outside of him. Yes, your very own support system that has nothing to do with him. I've never 100% trusted a man ever. I'm not losing myself for one either. Yup. I was the same, went to massage school, got my license, I was out within 2 years. 20 years later, happy and thriving. You can also do this. Oh, that's nice. When I stayed home with the kids, I also got a degree. Always protect yourself, not just divorce. Her father died at 52. Mother never worked and was broke. Was not letting that happen to her. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, dear. But at least the silver lining is that you learned what you didn't want for yourself. Next comment. Quit a great job to stay home with the young children. Dynamics completely changed. Big mistake. Yup, he felt too comfortable. Like, never be in a situation where you do not have an exit plan, because that's when you see how nasty people can get for real. Next one, separate accounts and hide money always. It's a control thing. Thank you. It's a control thing. I think every housewife should be hiding money for an emergency getaway. I don't understand why more women do not do that. I do, because haven't you heard the statistics that 90% of working moms' finances enter into the family? And we're talking about working moms, guys. Working moms. So these are not even stay-at-home moms are not bringing in anymore. They are actively working, but 90% goes into the family, which is another version of financial abuse, because it still detracts from your financial health and cripples you from living if you need to. So there are different levels and phases to this, okay? But yeah, I guess we're gonna end this here, guys. As always, I'm your host, The Empress H. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more of this content, as well as turn on your notification bell. Comment your thoughts on this if you have any. See you all in the next video. Bye for now.